I mean, I heard you say very respectfully, but I heard you say the homeless crisis. I would love to hear more about that. What's the crisis? A guy can't sleep outdoors? What's the problem? My kids are born rich and they don't own houses. Like, what is the homeless crisis?
The homeless crisis is, see, I wish you guys were here a little bit longer. We would take you to Skid Row and you would see what the crisis is.
I've seen it though. I'm just wondering
how
they have it in Portland.
But I'm asking what you would do about it. Because I know what I have to do about it. I have to pay $33,000 a year of my hard-earned money. $33,000 is what our family has to pay to Multnomah County for homeless. But the homeless just keeps going up. Now what they want to do, and Newsom's behind this idea as well as this crazy guy out of New York, is they want to give houses to the homeless. They want to give, if somebody's renting a house or it's vacant, they want to give it to them.
They will turn it into a drug house.
Sure.
That's what they're going to turn it into. You don't give somebody who wants to live on the streets a home.
Yeah.
We have a commercial building just a couple miles away from here. And there's literally an encampment right in front of our commercial building. And when I called LA's homeless division to get them out, the first thing they said was, is the encampment touching the building? Like, what do you mean touching the building? It's on the sidewalk. He goes, if it's not attached to the building, I can't do anything.
Sure.
I'm like, it is attached to the building. I need somebody to get out here. So they get out there and we go knock on one of the tents. He gets out. I go, you got to pack up and leave. Here's the homeless department. They're telling you to get out as well. He goes, well, I'm not breaking any laws. I'm just here on the sidewalk. I go, where's your buddy? He goes, oh, he's at work. I'm like, what do you mean he's at work? He goes, yeah, he's at work. He goes to work and then he'll hit the gym. He'll shower at the gym and then he'll come back and he'll sleep here.
Yep.
So what the hell is actually going on? It's a housing issue and it's a drug epidemic as well. So there's two things going on right there. Now, who you're going to give the housing to, you got to screen these people. If it's a drug, he's going to turn it into a drug house. But if it's some guy who's can't pay the rent, like that gentleman who went to work, took a shower at the gym, and then came back and just slept there, that's who you'll give the house to. But it's a mismanagement of tax dollars, Chael. That's what it is.
It seems like a nice guy thing to say. It seems like something that some bleeding heart would say, that I'm going to give a house to a homeless. What about the plumber that has got a license and he's got 3 kids? What about the plumber that works 40 hours a week? What about him, but he can't cover his rent? If I've got to give the house to the homeless, or I got to give the house to a plumber that works his ass off, but he hasn't yet come up with a down payment, I'm giving it to the plumber.
Well, no, yeah, of course. You prioritize it.
You say, of course, and I appreciate you saying that, but there seems to be something very sweet about somebody coming out and saying, I'm going to do this for the homeless. Nobody's ever, you tell me one person you know that's died of starvation. So once we get the fact that they're not starving to death, once we get the fact that they're getting Medicare, once we get the fact, I meant medical, once we get the fact that they're going to be clothed and they're going to have a pillow, let them sleep outside. To your point, you have a drug problem and you have a mental health crisis, but my family has to kick in $33,000 a year. That's real money. I had to fight Anderson Silva for 25 minutes. I got paid $32,000. We got to kick in $30,000 a year and the homeless rate goes up, but they're not starving. They have medical. They have a bedroll. If they want to sleep outside, leave them there. Quit acting like it's some kind of a crisis and quit acting like you're going to do something about it. You want to get a guy a home? Get a guy a home that works 40 hours a week, contributes to society, and still can't afford a home. And by the way, we're not even giving him a home. These are just words. These are just words to be nice. But every 4 years when somebody's got to run for office, it's one of the first things they do is have to talk about the homeless. And it's like, okay, I'd like you to just go a little further. Tell me what the problem is. Nobody's ever starved to death in front of me. And they wouldn't starve to death in front of you guys.
No, they're never going to starve to death. They're never going to starve to death. What it is, and I'm going to backtrack a little bit. It is a mental health and a drug 100%. Issue. That's what it is. Yes. Majority of the people that are homeless are due to mental health and due to drug abuse.
And there's nowhere to go.
So what
I
do
have family members that do this. They get it. They get 411. What is it? What am I saying?
5150.
5150. They get in the hospital. They're there for 3 days. They get kicked out. They got nowhere to go.
Yep.
It's terrible.
So then what do you do to those people, Brittany?
I don't know. I believe that we should, they closed mental hospitals, obviously, because of abuse and them being treated poorly. But there's got to be somewhere. Yeah. There's got to be somewhere that we designate where, hey, you guys aren't well. You can't take care of yourself. They are the ones that can't. They're the weaker. Sure. They can't take care of themselves. It's terrible.
But every 4 years,
there's got to be somewhere
up.
They can go.
My vigor in looking at you with the crazy eye isn't to take out because you said that there's a homeless crisis. My vigor in looking at you with the crazy eye and the tone is because every 4 years, some jerk that wants to get elected for himself will go down and he'll visit Skid Row and he'll act like, hey,
That's
it's you
PR
and me.
bullshit, man.
It's PR BS. And it's like, at some point, just stop doing that. I don't really need to hear how you're going to help the homeless guy. I'd much rather hear how you're going to help the journeyman. You're going to help the guy with the degree. You're going to help the waitress, the nurse that also don't have a house. I just don't get the concept. And, squatters' rights is very real. If you ever become a landlord and you learn about squatters' rights, you're going to wish that you would have put it in a 401k and not into real estate. And there's nothing that gets done about these things. And, I just think that Gavin Newsom's, he's going to be your guy because these things aren't a reality. Like the things I'm telling you, these things aren't true. Nobody's going down to help the homeless guy, but Gavin's going to show up on Skid Row and act like he helped the homeless guy.
Just like he showed up in Altadena and Palisades.
And he's going to act and he's going to pretend and he's going to be a better performer than other people.
I mean, look at it this way. Just recently, they were going to pass a law for the fires in Pacific Palisades where the government was going to try to buy the land for low-income housing.
Yep.
And they put a stop to that. The people protested against it and they put a stop to it. But that's always the intention, is how can the government benefit from this? If there was no chaos, if there was no homelessness, if there wasn't all these issues, then politicians wouldn't have anything to do.
Sure.
Because ultimately, the number one problem, in my opinion, in California is cost of living. I mean, around the country, but especially in California. Today, college graduate cannot afford a house. They will never, ever become a homeowner because with a couple $100,000 in tuition, with all the taxes, state taxes, the cost of home ownership and the interest rates, and you can't even get homeowners insurance. There's no way a 25, 30-year-old is ever going to have an opportunity to own a home.
Well, they got to stop majoring in sociology and liberal arts and all these crappy degrees.
Doesn't matter what you major in, man. Today, you can make $200,000 a year. You cannot buy a house in California. It's become impossible. You know that. You're a real estate agent. You just cannot. Unless you go to some rural area where nobody wants to live there, then
Well, that's where the crack houses are.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, it's very tough.
If you enjoyed this short clip, go ahead and click here to watch the full episode. And make sure to click here to subscribe to our channel to watch all other episodes of the WiseNuts podcast.